It's amazing being in Uman. I mean, it's a whole different experience. I see, I haven't seen you guys in Uman, but in Eretz Yisrael. But it's when you see somebody in Uman, it's a whole different world. You see a different light in their neshama. When Nachman says we're learning this Torah, I was learning with Gedalia and also remember your name one more time, Gershom in Yerushalayim. We were learning Torah about how when we come to the Tzaddik, so it's revealed the Hisparos, the beauty of every single Jew is revealed, because even if we come to Uman, we don't really know why we're here, we don't know what we're looking for, but on a deeper level, our neshama knows what we're here for, and we're looking to do tshuva. We're trying to find a way closer to Hashem. Could we have other ritzanos also? We want to have a good time. The Nekuda Torah is gishmak. The davening is fun, and there's no place in the world like Nekuda Torah in Uman. And there's also other places to daven. You daven in the Klois, it's unbelievable. It's a minute of 5,000 people like pouring out their heart and screaming, there's no other place in the world that these things happen. But these things are actually just a product of what the tzaddik is doing on the inside. So even if we think we're coming for this external thing, this amazing davening, the chevra, the achdus, all of that is a product that the tzaddik is revealing to us the hisparas, the beauty of our neshama. And once he reveals the beauty of our neshama, so then everything else falls into place, and we see it in each other. We start seeing it. We see every year in a different way, and it helps bring us close to Hashem. It inspires us to change and to reach our potential, because we see who we truly are. Right? When you see who you truly are, so then it's we realize that we can daven, we can serve Hashem. The whole year we think maybe it's Avodas Hashem is not for me. I can't sit down and learn for very long. It's hard for me to do all this stuff, and then the Rebbe comes and says, no, you've got it in you. So it's a special time. So we're going to learn today a little bit from, it's pretty windy out here. We're going to learn today a little bit from this Torah Lamed in the Quran, which the theme of this, like what we're trying to do over here is kind of understand what it means to connect to a tzaddik, and how does that help our life? How does it help make bring us closer to Hashem? How does it make everything better in ruchnius and gashmius, everything that we're going through better by connecting to the tzaddik? Because for many of us, it's a foreign idea. Like, we didn't grow up with this idea. We grew up that there's halacha, and we're supposed to follow halacha. We're supposed to learn Torah, and we serve Hashem as best we can. And we have a rabbi who helps. If we have shilas and halacha, or if we have questions about do I take this job, or how do I deal with this issue in life? So we go to a rabbi. Where does the tzaddik come into this picture? What do we need? Why a rabbi is good. We need rabbis, and Rabbi Nachman says we need rabbis, but we also need a tzaddik. Right? A tzaddik is somebody who's reached a level of shleimus much greater than just like our local rabbis. God bless them, who are doing great things for their kehilas. But a tzaddik is somebody who's reached a very, very high level of perfection of his physical desires, his bad midas, his Abbas Yisrael, every single aspect, his makshava, his mind is pure. It's crystal clean, So why do we need? What's the role of a tzaddik in our lives, and how does that really bring us to a higher place? So I'm going to start with this Torah Lamed, and we're going to do every day we will do a different piece of the Gemara that talks about this idea.
This time Kavua?
Yeah, this time Kavua, every day Mitzvah Shem. So the Rebbe starts like this. He says, "Hasagar sadakus ef shel hasig ki'im adid tzimtzumim rabim." Okay, he's starting with an idea that seems very, very difficult for us to understand, but he explains it at a very practical level by giving us examples. So he starts by saying that Hasagar sadakus, meaning literally understanding the godliness, understanding Hashem, is very hard for us to. It's very hard for us to come to this understanding, to connect to Hashem in every single aspect of our lives. It means to understand Hashem. Hasagas l'kus it means that I'm putting on tefillin. How do I connect that tefillin to Hashem? How do I understand how to come close to Hashem through mitzvah of tefillin? Like we do all the halachas, we're doing all of these specific things all the time. The question is, how do we masig Hashem? How do we understand Hashem in that specific thing? So Reb Nachman starts by saying that we need tzimtzumim rabbim. We need a lot of, basically a lot of introductory ideas. We need. Hashem is so great. He's the Ein Sof. So we're down here in the lowest world. So in between us and Hashem, we need something. We need some way for that light to come down to us. And that's what tzimtzumim are. Tzimtzumim are correlate to the spheres, the different worlds, which each one, starting with the Kesser, coming down from the highest place, it goes down, down, and down. Each one is a little bit further from the light of Hashem, the Ein Sof. Now, as it goes down, it gets closer and closer to us, and it brings a little bit of that light further and further down to where we are. Those are called tzimtzumim, in a general sense. So again, all this is very lofty right now. We're going to explain it more practically in a second.
I don't understand that, because if Hashem is through all worlds, then how can it be less in...
How can it be less? Right.
Less
so
in the mind than in the Tiferet. What does that mean?
Right. Your question, right, just to rephrase your question. The question is that if Hashem's, right, we know that Hashem is echad, right? He's Mamalik Ha'amim, Masayiv Ka'amim, he surrounds all the world and fills all the worlds. So how can one place have more of Hashem's light and another place have less of Hashem's light? That's what you're asking?
Yeah, that's an okay question.
It's the second question you just asked, if it's an okay question, is actually a really good question, because it is an okay question, but there is an answer. But at the end of the day, there is an aspect to that first question that's beyond our ability to understand. The answer to your question, on a simple level, is that there's place like Hashem's light can be revealed and hidden. Hashem's light is everywhere, but in some places it's revealed, and some places it's hidden. So when you're at the Ein Sof, the source of the light, so that it's very revealed, as it comes down, it becomes more and more hidden, but there's still an essence of that light. And that is what's able to reach this world, this lowest world of darkness. It's still there.
So you're saying the Keter is in every sphere, basically? Coming down?
Yes. I'm saying, every sphere contains a Keser. Keser is the closest sphere to Ein Sof.
Still not the Ein Sof.
It's still not the actual thing itself. It's already a tzimtzum. It's a little bit, it's a little bit off the side. Maybe we talk about it a little bit afterwards, but
Hashem couldn't create the world in the Ein Sof.
Right. So he had to separate. He was mitzamtzim. He made an open space, like outer space, so to speak. And in that outer space, he created all the worlds, all the spiritual worlds, and then finally we get, after many hundreds of spiritual worlds, it gets down to the physical world. But leave your question for now. Leave your question for now. It's really important. But at the end of the day, your question actually is something that doesn't have a complete answer to it. It's something that we have to take on faith. Reb Nachman says, because you're right. If it's all echad, so then how could there be any separation? Meaning, how can you and I exist? If Hashem is echad, how can you and I exist?
It's more part of it, but
Okay. So Reb Nachman says we need tzimtzumim rabbim. We need many different kelim, different containers for that light before it can reach down to us in the lowest world. So Reb Nachman explains that these tzimtzumim are different types of schalim, of like understandings. Right? Meaning a tzaddik understanding of Hashem is like he understands the highest level. He understands, he's mastering the Ein Sof. He understands, it's a very difficult thing for us to, he understands these questions that Gersh is asking. He's on a very high level. But for us, we can't understand these things. So we need all these secholim, all these other ways of explaining that seichel that are able to clothe it and explain it in a different way, that it reaches down into a lower place where our little minds can grasp it. Yeah? So we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it more mashalim and things like that to explain it further. So Reb Nachman gives a mashal right away. Like we see it through our own experience. You can't understand a big, very, very profound idea. The only way to understand it is through a more specific idea that's closer to our understanding. The mashal is kamaya malamed, like a teacher. He wants to explain like a very deep pshat in the Gemara or something. Let's say. First, he has to explain it to the Talmud in a very, he can't give him the whole thing right at once. He has to explain it in little parts that the Talmud can understand. Then he can understand it. Then so first he gives him all these introductory ideas, things that, in and of its own, this thing the person can understand it. This thing the person can understand. This thing the person understand. And then he put all those things together, and then he builds up to this Seichel Elyon, this deeper understanding of Hashem. Again, right now he's talking about even in a Gemara. If that's what a Rebbe in a Gemara gives a Shiur in a Gemara. He gives you this idea that you learn from this Rishon, this idea, and then this thing you learn from this Mefarish, and then altogether he builds a pshat in the Gemara that otherwise, if he just said the pshat right away in the Gemara, you wouldn't understand what he's saying. So that's what he does. That's how we understand this high understanding. So now, right now, we understand basically what we need, where we need to get to. We don't understand how we're going to get there. You come sit down. You speak English? Vada. Come sit down. What's your name? Moseson? Oh, you're related to cousin. Second cousin. Okay, very good. So we're learning Torah Lama now, and it's around about why do we need to connect to the Tzaddik? What's the importance of the Tzaddik in our life? So each one of us needs to search for a Tzaddik who can teach us like this. Who can teach us how to understand, how to connect to Hashem in every single mitzvah, every single situation that we're in. That means hasagas kus, meaning masig literally means it can be understand. It also means to grab onto, to hold on to connect to. So this is very hard for us. Hashem is so great. We're down here. How do we connect to something that's so much greater than us? We need a tzaddik in between to explain, to be the kesher, to be the shadchan. Never says the tzaddik is a shadchan. He connects. He says you guys are good shidduch. Hashem is, he loves you. You love Hashem. Okay, you guys don't understand each other. But trust me, you're on the same page. I'll explain to you why. And then he's able to give us all these different, explanations and ways of connecting to Hashem. Kitzar, there's a Rebbe Gadol Me'od Me'od. We need a really, really incredible tzaddik. Sheyuchal lahas b'seichel gadol kazei out of seichel katan seichel tachton ganal. It's an incredible skill to bring Or Ein Sof down to a tachlis, darkness, the darkest place, and of physical desire and temptation and bilbulim and everything that we're going through in Olam Hazeh in the year 2021 and all the difficulties that we're having. We need an incredible tzaddik who's able to explain such high ideas. Kiva, you want to sit down? I caught you. Got you. I don't think so. Who's able to explain these incredibly high. Come sit next to me. Okay. To bring these incredibly high ideas in a way that Pasha Yid in today's world can understand it. This is the mile of a tzaddik. This is what we need a tzaddik. Otherwise, the Hashem stays up there, and we're down here. We don't have a connection. We do have us Hashem, but we're not connected. The tzaddik, the tzaddik is Yesod Adam. He's the foundation, meaning he's the connection. That's what a tzaddik is. He's a connection. Doesn't mean that we have to go through the tzaddik to get to Hashem. It means that the tzaddik connects us directly to Hashem. You understand the difference? Some people get confused on this nakuda. They think, so we're diving into the tzaddik and then we get to Hashem. No. We don't dive into the tzaddik. We go to the tzaddik in order for him to connect us to Hashem. He teaches us how to daven. He teaches us how to learn. He teaches us how to see the beauty of our neshama. Shalom Aleichem. He teaches us how to have emunah. How to be more in today's world? It's not so possible, right? How to be more in today's world? It's very, very hard to find a moon. Maybe this is the biggest thing that tzaddik needs to be mitzamsim is a derech, a way for us to find a moon. All these protim, all these aspects of Avodas Hashem, we need a tzaddik to help to reveal to us all these different, unique ways that we can connect to Hashem. We shouldn't just go through our life stam, empty. The tzaddik is yisoid. The tzaddik is yisoid. Yisoid is a feeling of Avodas Hashem. Every single one of us is looking for a connection. We want to feel good, right? There's nobody in the world, even a guy. What is the goy? What is his tachas? What is his real? What is his goal in life? Is to feel good. He wants to find a way that he can feel good. It feels good to have a lot of money. It feels good. All these different things that people are running after, and Olam Hazeh, all this gashmias, feels good, right? What is the chassid of Williamsburg? What's he looking for? He wants to feel good. What is a lipak in Lakewood? He wants to feel good. Learning Torah makes him feel good. This is the cloud that we want. What is the feeling good? It's feeling connected. We want to feel connected. We don't want to feel like we're empty. We're all by ourselves. We're all alone. Our life is just going by, numb, stam. Nothing's happening. How do we find that connection? We're down in the lowest world. We're in the schmutz. We're in the dirt. Hashem's up here. So people, unfortunately, sometimes we end up looking for that connection in the dirt, in the gashmias. Because it's right there. That's where we are. So we want to feel connected. So we can connect right away. You can take this drug. You can drink this beer. You can eat this food. All the different desires of this world. It's right there. You can feel good, like instant gratification they call it, right? Technology also, money. Geschmacka. You get a fancy car. It's like volume. But the thing is, like we feel like we have no choice. Because we need to feel good. I have a void. I have an empty space in my heart, in my mind, in my whole body. I need to fill it with something. And if I can't find it in ruchnius, I can't find it by connecting to Hashem. I need to fill it with this world. God forbid. So that's what the tzaddik is trying to fix. The tzaddik is the soul. He's trying to help us see. No, you can find that connection in mitzvahs, and in Torah, and in davening. And that's what the tzaddik is going to teach us. That's how he's going to lift us up. That's the purpose of a tzaddik. So, and that's what he calls hasagas elokus. It's an interesting way of phrasing it, because it makes it sometimes a little bit difficult to understand what's he talking about. Hasagas elokus. That's what hasagas elokus means. It means you're masig Hashem. You're connected. You understand that when we do this mitzvah, we keep Shabbos, we say a bracha, that what we're doing has incredible effect in all the worlds above and below. We have no idea, but the tzaddik reveals to us that tzaddikim, this is what the Zohar comes to teach. The Zohar Kaddish is just saying, when you put on tefillin, you're tying up your Yitzhahara with the Ritzuos, and then you say Kriya Shema. The words of Kriya Shema are the stones. The Zohar says that the words of Kriya Shema are the stones that David shot at Goliath, with his slingshot. And he shot him down like the stone. These are the 6 words of Kriya Shema. Those stones will be boom, we knock them out. It's incredibly powerful stuff. This is the Zohar comes to teach us. A Rizal came after that, and Rizal was revealed like incredibly deep understandings of what's going on in the Zohar and the teachings of Kabbalah. And but again, all of these things for us, we open a sefer, Kavanas Ari. It's like, it's gibberish. Like, I have no idea what's Chinese. Like, it's just these Yud K, Hey Vav, different orders of the Shem Havaya and all these things, and I have no idea what's going on. So it's a tzimtzum, it's a seichel tachton, meaning the Rizal took to this high, deep understandings of Kabbalah, and he actually mitzamtzum. It was an incredible revelation. But for us in today's world, it's still Orei Ein Sof. It's still above our ability to understand. It's l'mala misichlena. We can't use it to connect to Hashem. A person can open a sefer Rizal, you can read it, and it's not going to help him to find Hashem in his life. Now, after the Rizal, the next big tzaddik was the Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov brought the Torah of Kabbalah. He took it and put it into the kli that's called Chassidus. Right? Chassidus is be'etzem, it's a hemshech, it's a continuation of Kabbalah. It's a part of this Hishtalshus, we say this, I don't know how you translate that, but
Chain.
this chain, thank you, this chain of going down from the highest level, the Orient Slave Mamish, down to Olam Hazeh, meaning today's world. Today is Olam Hazeh, right? Because every year, every moment, there's a different Olam Hazeh. And we need new tzimtzum. We knew, what we're doing right now by understanding the Sefer is another tzimtzum. It's another explanation, bringing it down further to where we are right now. So that was Baal Shem Tov brought it down. He said, every single Yid can have a connection to the Eibishter by talking to him in his own words. If he knows Lashon HaKodesh, he doesn't know the Aleph Beis Bichlal, he's still hiding. He's Kodesh Kodashim, right? Just by his pure Munah and his Ratzon for Hashem. This is incredible revelation, which is really brought down from the Torah of Kabbalah, but again, in a different tzimtzum, in a more specific way that a regular Jew can relate to it. Then we have all the tzaddikim, Talmid of the Baal Shem Tov, who brought that light even further, and here we are sitting with Reb Nachman. Zecher Tzaddik Bracham. Nachman, sitting by the Uman Rosh Hashanah. It's an incredible schus for us to be here right now to learn this Heilige Torah. And Reb Nachman brought it down in a way that was just unbelievable. He explained these understandings of the Baal Shem Tov, the Arizal, the Zohar Kodesh. He explained it to a Pashut Yid, and mamash how every single Yid can find Hashem in his life, and every single mitzvah he does, every single Torah that he learns, and no matter what we're going through, that's what Reb Nachman. They say the Baal Shem Tov, the Chesh of Baal Shem Tov. You can describe it as that he brought to the world this understanding that we can talk to Hashem as our Father. Hashem is our loving Father. We talk to Him like a father. It's a very deep relationship with Hashem. It's not just a king. He's not just this, Rebbeinu Shel Olam that's so far above us. He's a father. He's a loving father. Reb Nachman took it a step further and he says, Hashem is your friend. Here's the book. Hashem is your friend, meaning you can talk to him like he's right here. He brought the Eibishter, he brought this Elokus, this Or Ein Sof. He said, this Or Ein Sof is your friend. Or Ein Sof is my friend? That's crazy. Yeah. Nachman put it down that far. Hashem is right here, he's sitting across from us. We can sit down and talk to him just like we're talking to each other right now. And it's a very, very big tzimtzum. That's what we call tzimtzum. Taking a big thing and making it a very specific, thing that exists with us in our tzimtzumim, in our constricted place of darkness. You can find that connection to Hashem. So we need a big tzaddik to be able to explain these things and to bring it down like this.
Well, you're saying it's explanation, not an actual thing.
Yeah,
it always was, but it's just now we can.
Now we can understand it. We can relate to it. Exactly. Hashem is Hashem is everywhere. He's mitzvah to our level. He's bringing it down to our level. Hashem is everywhere, but if we don't understand how to connect to Him where we are, so then we're lost. So at Tzaddikim, they reach such a level, and again, one of the ways to understand this is that, the mashal that I always like to use is that a person, like let's say in Avodas Hashem, we're trying to climb a mountain. We're trying to get up. We're trying to go higher and higher. Elul, time of Tshuva, Rosh Hashanah. All of us, we have a ratzon to be miskarv to Hashem, to get closer and closer to Kedusha. Only problem is we're trying to climb a mountain and we don't know where the path is. So what are two options? Really, there's three options. One option is that we try to do it completely by ourselves. So we take a stick and we start whacking away. We call it bushwhacking. You guys know what that means? You ever gone hiking? Little hiking? Yeah? Yeah, you mama's like, you're hacking away at the branches. You're hacking away at the branches and you're making your own path. So obviously we're not going to get so far doing that. And Taco, we could end up like not even finding our way to the top of Cloud because we could get lost along the way, whatever. It's going to be very frustrating. It could be a lot of fun, but it could be very upsetting if you have a goal in mind. I'm saying, if you just stop and want to go for a walk, so maybe if you really want to get to the top of the mountain, it's very frustrating, The other option, second option, is we look up, we see, let's see, 100, 200 feet above us, there's another guy. There's somebody else. There's another Jew, like 200 feet above us. It's like, wait, how'd he get up there? He must know that there's a path. So we call out to him. Maybe we get a cell phone number somehow. Say, hey, how did you get up there? He's like, oh, well, I started on the other side of the mountain, and this, and he's like, so can you help us get up? He's like, I don't know. I started from a different place, and I took a different path than you, and also he can't see. He doesn't have clear vision. He's only 200 feet up, so meaning there's still trees that are blocking his view. It's still hard for him to really see where we're coming from. So maybe he could help us a little bit find our way because he has a little bit more vision than we do. But at the end of the day, he doesn't have it. B'shleimus. The third option is you look up way up to the top of the mountain. At the top of the mountain, you see, wow, there's somebody who made it to the top. First of all, it's a big chizuk. It's a big chizuk. Somebody made it to the top. It's possible. It's doable. That's one thing. Second thing is that that tzaddik that's at the top, he sees all the paths. He sees every single direction, 360 view. He sees every single way that there could possibly be to get. So he knows exactly which way is going to be the best for us. There's nothing obstructing his view. He can see with 100% clarity. A tzaddik like that is able to help us, right? So, and that's what we're talking about. All those different paths are the different tzimtzumim, meaning that you need a different tzimtzum for Hashem's light than you do, and and each one of you. It's not going to be the same. But this sefer and Rav Nachman's teachings and his Talmidim and his Talmidim, they have the eitzes and this clarity to be able to guide the Jewish people, no matter who we are, no matter where we are, to find that path that we're looking for. So Rav Nachman is going to bring another mashal over here that's also very important. Obviously, it's the main mashal. Mine's just an aside. So v'kol mashu katan b'yoyser, and the smaller we are, the further we've fallen into the darkness of this world, Merucha b'yoyser may Hashem yisbarach, and the further we are, meaning the further down at the bottom of the mountain we are, hutzarach Rebbe gadol b'yoyser. That's why we need a bigger tzaddik, right? Because again, if you're halfway up already, so then maybe you don't need somebody, you don't need the person at the top as much. But when you're down at the bottom, or let's say you're mamish stuck in the middle of the ground, you're down underneath the earth, we really need a tzaddik to help us, the bigger tzaddik we need to help us to you found it? 29? 30. Right at the beginning. So greater tzaddik we need to help us find our way. It's like we see when the Jewish people were on the lowest level, was the Daina b'Mitzrayim. When we were in Egypt, we were mamish memtes shaitu. We were like lost, completely lost. Halavai, halavai we should be memtes, not shar chamishim. Taka, if you're shar memtes, you're already like a stickle above like the average. What's that?
There's some inyan that dafka b'shar chamishim.
Right now, right. So there's different shar chamishim. So before we had the Torah, which was shar chamishim of kedusha, right, which we got on the 50th day of Spiros Omer. So before that, this is what Rav Nosson explains. Before that, so if we had found the shar chamishim of Tuma at that time in Mitzrayim, so then there would have been no hope. Because since we didn't have the Torah to be the tikkun for the shar chamishim of Tuma, al-idei the shar chamishim of kedusha, so then we would have been lost forever. Now that we have the Torah,
according to that, you would be able to get to the 49 shar.
No, because once you get into 50, so there's no way out. Meaning, it's the opposite of each other. Meaning, again, like we say, the further you fall, the higher shar you need to help you out.
But there's nothing at 49 yet to begin with. When they were coming out in time, there was nothing at 49 either. Not just 50. There was nothing all the way up. Like no one had gotten to 40 yet. So if they got to 40 of Tama, they wouldn't have been able to.
No. First of all, the Avos for sure were massing all the Mem Teshar Tuma, Mem Teshar Kedusha. Yeah, Memtes, yeah.
And then when the Torah came.
Yeah, and anyways, I mean, these the Sharm Kedusha are something that's in Mitzias. It's something that's dependent on a person to create it. Like Hashem created it. It's Memtes Shari Bina, meaning it's Api Kabbalah. It's these are the different levels in the world of Bina, right? And then in the world of Tuma, so these are levels, right? So, B'kitzer. So Memtes, but now that we have the Torah, even if we fall to the 50th gate of Tuma, it's still possible for us to find a way out. And most people, it's a little bit of an aside, but most of the opinion right now is that we are taka in the 50th gate. But it's a little bit aside exactly why that is. But the kids, we've fallen to a very low place. And part of the understanding can, just to touch on it very briefly, is that, even if we are Shemer Torah Mitzvahs Baruch Hashem, but it's such a chitzonistic thing. It's just these very empty things. Like in Mitzrayim, the Yidden, they didn't have Torah mitzvahs, but they were very deeply entrenched and connected to the Jewish identity, to what it was to be a Yid, and that's why the three things they kept was their clothes, the names, and the language, which is like very panemiistic things. These are very panemiistic things. Even clothes.
Clothing is very outside.
Clothing, Kabbalah and Chassidus, clothing is like the most panemi. It's very panemi. The clothing is a revelation. It's a tzimtzum. It's a tzimtzum. What?
Rabbi talks about entire tough tests. The opening is calling his clothes
is covered, which is the covered. Very good. Like I wasn't even thinking about that. In Torah Chavtes, he's saying that the Rebbe calls it that our clothes are covered, which is our malchus, the etzem neshama b'yid, is the covered of Hashem. We are levush for Hashem.
In covered below stuff and
Keser. Very good. Okay, we have an expert experts over here. So very good. So it's a little bit on the side. We will talk about it afterwards. So B'kitzer, these are very things that identify us as Jews. Whereas nowadays, on the outside, we're keeping Torah mitzvahs, we're doing what Hashem asks, but on the inside, in a certain sense, we're very connected to the Goyish world. We're very lost in the Goyish world of the inside. So, but the key is that there's incredible hope, right? It's important to recognize that we fall into a low place, but we immediately have to go straight to the fact that we know that there's a Rebbe, there's a Tzaddik who's reached the Shar Chamishim, and he's able to lift us out of this low place, and he's able to save us no matter how far we fall. So that's what we're learning right here. So we said that the smaller we are, the further we fall away from Hashem. So Rebbe Gadol b'Yosef, we need a greater tzaddik, right? So again, if we fell like one shar into the Tuma, so then maybe one shar of Kedusha to help to get us back. If we fell 5 down, so we need the 5th one up. We fell 49 down, we need the 49th one to get us up, right? We fall the 50th, so then there's only the greatest tzaddikim that can help us. Sorry, we're talking about Mitzrayim. So in Mitzrayim we mishukoyim b'memtes shari tumah, the 49 gates of contamination. That's why we needed Moshe Rabbeinu Dafka to come at that time. The further we are, we need a teacher to teach us who's on a higher level. Uman Kazeh. We need an Uman. We need Uman. It's not some. The Rebbe came to Uman. Uman means a craftsman, somebody who has this incredibly skilled at this ability. Not only that he's reached the highest level of understanding, but he understands how to take that understanding and bring it down to the lowest place. That's a big skill. There's a lot of tzaddikim, there's the Baruch Hashem, even in today's generation, there's a lot of tzaddikim that have reached very high levels. They understand that all the Torah of Kabbalah and Nigla, they're Bikim and all of Shas and Paiskim and Shulchan Aruch and everything. And not only that, they're big. The Oiv de Hashem, the Mamash, the Oiv, they don't sleep. They eat like tiny little amounts of food. What's the difference? What's the difference between them and Reb Nachman? The difference is that, to a certain extent, they're not able to bring their understanding down to the lowest place. And Reb Nachman was able to reach the highest place to such an extent that he could explain it and Makasher even the lowest level to this place. So we need Uman Gazay, that he's such an Uman, he's such a skilled craftsman. This highest level of understanding. And Wasaga saw Yisbarach Shmoy, meaning Mamish, understanding Hashem himself, the Ora inside. Lekat Merucha Kamoisa, to the person who's small and far away, like us. Now he gives another mashal. Right? The sicker a person is, Tzarik Roife Gadol B'Yoser. No, this, you understand, this in itself is a tzimtzum. He gives us a mashal, every single mashal, a story, a mashal. These are all tzimtzumim. You're taking an idea and you're explaining it in a way that anybody in the world, a goy, anybody in the world can understand this idea. You're sick, right? Person has a little cold. Yeah, he has a little cold. What do? Probably you just don't do anything. You just try to get some more sleep. Maybe you take some cold medicine you can get over the counter, and then you hope you get better after a few days, a week or something. It's going to go away. Okay, let's say this person has a bacterial infection, and so they're in bed, they have a fever, all these things. So, okay, at that point they decide, okay, I'm going to go to the family doctor. And the family doctor is going to give me some antibiotics or something. He'll know exactly, which antibiotic to give me, which medicine is going to help me. He'll know which test to make and all these things, right? So good, you go to the family doctor, get the antibiotics. A week later, 2 weeks later, you're feeling pretty good. Now let's say somebody has a brain tumor. Chas v'shalom. The person is Yanamach. The person is really sick. So they're going to go to their family doctor. So maybe they'll go to the family doctor just to ask for a referral. They get a referral, the family doctor knows, maybe he knows which expert is going to really be able to help them the most. He'll guide them in the right direction, but he himself has no idea what to do with a brain tumor. That's not his expertise. He wasn't trained to help somebody with brain tumors. It's not his job, right? So what do? We go to the brain surgeon. Now, we're all, Baruch Hashem, we care a lot about life. We're Jewish people, we're not like some other people, other goyim who don't care about life. We care a lot about life. It's very important for us to live and to be healthy because we know how important it is to serve Hashem in this world. So, come sit down. So we want to get the most out of our time over here. We want it to last as long as possible, as many days as we can put on tefillin and say Kriya Shema and learn some Torah and come to Uman for Rosh Hashanah. The more the better. That's going to be good for us in the next world. So we take our health very seriously. Nowadays, there's all these diets, there's all these pills, there's all these things. Now we're getting into Rebbe's pharmacy over here a little bit. So we take it very seriously, So chas v'shalom lo aleinu. Rachmana litzlan. A person has a brain tumor. He's not just gonna go to the top doctor in his city. He's gonna search throughout the entire world to figure out who's the one guy who's going to help him. There's only one brain surgeon who's who's got he's got the perfect record. He knows exactly how to do the right surgery in the right way. It's 100% fail proof. Is that the right word? He's not gonna fail. Not gonna take any chance. You're not gonna go to a guy who's 70% chance of living. 70% chance. 70% chance, that's not so good. If you can get 100% chance, you're not going to go for 70% chance, right? You're going to go, 99% chance. You're not going to go for 70% chance. Post Kane, you're not going to go for 40% chance.
sometimes there's not enough time to get to that 100% chance.
Okay. So we'll talk about that. Let's just finish the mashal and then we'll get to your question. So, Kitzer, we're gonna fly across the world. It's gonna cost us millions that we're gonna raise. You see these campaigns. People raise like millions of dollars. You put a chesed fund, campaign. Person raises $5 million to pay for this crazy surgery and fly across the world and do all these amazing things. And Baruch Hashem, it works. And the child or the person, whoever it is, they live to a long life. Baruch Hashem. So the question is, why don't we do the same thing in Ruchnias? Why don't we do? We have a spiritual sickness. Why don't we do the same thing? The chayra.
They just flew.
So we're getting there. Exactly. So, but it should be a double pashut. It should be a simple thing. Meaning, if everybody understood that Rav Nachman was the brain surgeon, the top brain surgeon who could fix all of our crazy brain problems that we have, all of our shtusim, babulim, our mind is full of garbage, and it's a pit hole of garbage. If everybody knew with 100% clarity that there was a tzaddik who could help us to take out the garbage, get rid of all of our shtus, and clear our head from all of our babulim, and to be'emes of Hashem on the highest madriga that's possible for each one of us, they would be coming to Uman right now. I'm talking to you because these guys are already here. But it's important for us to understand why we're here. That's what we're talking about. What are we doing? We're connecting to the tzaddik. Connecting to the tzaddik means we're going for brain surgery. We're going to fix all the problems we have going on up here. So this is it. We all.
The reason why they don't come is because first the person has to know that he's sick.
He's sick.
If he doesn't know that he's sick, then.
There's different reasons. There's different reasons why a person. Exactly, a person could feel like everything's fine. Everything's fine in my life. Right. So, and the truth is, not everybody has the same level of brain tumor. Meaning, some people are more sick than others. It's true. Not everybody is sick than others. But Rav Nachman says that he's not saying over here. He's not saying that person's just a. If you go to the good doctor, all the more so he's going to help you if you're a little bit sick. Meaning, of course he can help a person who's a little bit sick. Meaning, a person who has just minor issues in life, which there are a few people in the world like that. No, there are big there are people who are not mama's suffering with what we're going through, but even them, for sure, the tzaddik can help them also with the little things that they need to fix. So everybody should go to the brain, to the top doctor. Why wouldn't you go to the top doctor? If you could go to the top doctor, why not? You can help everybody. But the point is over here that the sicker you are, so then the more you really, really need it. It's like absolutely essential. It's life and death. So
the stronger drug will give you.
Yeah, exactly. He'll give you the medicine. He knows exactly what medicine each person needs. Some people need lighter medicine, some heavy medicine. Again, all the different details. These are all timsumim that the tzaddik is able to mitzamsum this light of Hashem to each one of us and give it exactly the medicine that we need to heal us from whatever our specific sickness is. So that's what we're going to the tzaddik. This is why we're trying to connect to Rabbi Nachman, and like you said, some people don't realize that they're so sick, or they don't realize that it's important to go to a specialist to help them with their sickness. And other people, they just don't realize that there's a specialist out there. They don't realize that Rav Nachman's healing, thousands and literally millions of neshamas all over the world. Like, if 70 or 80,000 people come to Uman for Rosh Hashanah, if each one of them comes, there's another 10 people that are reading Isfarim and somehow connected to the eitzes and the light of the tzaddik, and it's helping them somewhere in their life. So we're talking about a massive amount of Eden right now, and even going, unbelievable things are happening. I heard a story that somebody told me that the Ukrainian soccer team, football for British people out there, they came before they went to like the great what? So they came before they went to some big match, match in the World Cup or whatever. They came to Uman to daven Reb Nachman's caver.
And they won.
I don't know. But certainly I had to hear tshuva. Certainly there was something happened over there.
We met, not Yidden. Yeah, there's not Yidden people. There's not Yidden here.
There's guys
He
people.
comes you in and see him. He hangs out there. And he just sits there with like a safer. He doesn't know what he's reading.
He has like a nanach yarmulke on. He walks around, nanach my man.
And he leaves you, he's like, nah, that's not going to
Funny you mentioned brain tumor because I was involved in a street fight in about 2017. My friend got knocked out and he had a brain tumor.
Wow.
I got hit in the head pulling one of the guys off my friend. I had a massive bump on the side of my head. I went to the doctor told me not to come to Uman. I hadn't eaten in a week. Anything that I ate came straight back out.
Wow.
And my doctor told me not to come to Uman. I didn't listen to my doctor.
Wow.
I came. I landed in Oman. The first proper meal I ate was here in Oman.
Wow. They were talking about refuahs and gashmias for sure. I mean, everything is a gashmias. Also, I mean, everything I'm saying. You know, people are looking for a shefa. You know, we need all need panosa. We need shidduchim. We need refuahs. We need big yeshuas and gashmias also. The Rebbe is the Yesoid. The Rebbe is the Yesoid. He's the channel for all these things to receive whatever we're looking for in this world. So, the Rebbe's light is reaching the world right now. Baruch Hashem, it's becoming very clear that he's healing a lot of neshamas, and like I said, even if there are some people who are just like mildly sick, you know, just have like minor issues in their bad midas and their taivas and physical desire, but the overwhelming majority of the people in this generation, we're going through what we're going through. I mean, we're going through unbelievable nisayanos. It's not, you can't compare it to any other time in the history of the world, what the Jewish people and obviously, you know, all the rest of the world is going through. You guys can sit in, right? So what we're going, this is reality. The Rizal explains this. He says, you know, what does it mean, ukvus of the Mashiach? What does it mean, the heels of Mashiach, the birth, you know, when, like, just before Mashiach comes is the period of time. It's called Ukfus and Mashiach, the heels of Mashiach. The Rizal explains. He says it means that just before Mashiach comes, the neshamas that are going to come into this world are going to be from the bottom of the heels of Adam Rishon, right? Because the Chazal say that the body of Adam Rishon contained all the neshamas of Klal Yisrael from the beginning of time. All the neshamas are contained in that body, and so there's some neshamas that come from the arms, some that come from the legs, come from the mind. The tzaddikim are coming from the top of the head, they're coming from the keser. We in this generation, 99.9%, I don't know exact percentages, but a very large amount of people, were coming from the dead skin on the bottom of the heels. Shver matzav. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Not good.
It's not easy being the dead skin on the bottom of the heels. Like, we're getting smashed and trampled everywhere we go, every step we take. Life is beating us up into a pulp, and people are giving up. Hashem Yirach, people are giving up, you know. And there's different levels of giving up. There's giving up completely.
Because our souls are weak, is that what you're saying? Or just because our souls in their shorish were stepped upon, so that's what we are?
Both. That our souls are coming from a weaker place, right? It says that in the time of in the Midbar, when the Yidden were traveling through the desert, so it says that the Jews that were struggling with their desires and their temptations, so they were spit out of the clouds of glory. They couldn't, they weren't allowed to walk in the clouds of glory. And then Amalek came and attacked Dafka, those people. So it's both things. Meaning, first of all, they're struggling with Olam Hazeh, you know, the difficulties of this world, and they're getting targeted by the enemy. Yitzhahara, Sitra Achra, however you explain it. So it's a double whammy. But we say that HaKadosh Baruch was makdim refuah, the makkah, that Hashem, he even before the sickness, he already gives us the medicine. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name?
Yehuda Lee.
Really nice to meet you. Marshal Leventhal. So Hashem gives us the medicine. He gives the medicine even before he makes us sick. Meaning that even before we came into this world, 20,021, Rabbi Nachman already wrote this sefer. He already gave us all the answers. He already said, "Ein shum yesh b'olam klal." He already said he knows that there's going to be, before Mashiach comes, there's going to be such neshamas that are going to have to suffer, and they're going to be the heels, the dead skin on the bottom, the heels of Rishon. He knows we're going to have to go through what we're going through. So he said, "Ein shum yush ba'olam klal." Even for you, even for you, even for me, even for you. There's no way. There's no giving up. There's no reason to despair. There's hope for each one of us. Why? Because we have a tzaddik who can reveal hasagas adakus, this understanding of connection to Hashem, no matter how low we fall. There's no bottom. There's no bottom. And if you think I hit the bottom, that's it. There's no like there was a certain line and I crossed the line. No, tzaddik also crosses the line. They say from Gedali Koenig, Olav Shalom, a great tzaddik, a great brother of a tzaddik from Tzvas. They said that Gedali Koenig, a couple generations back, they said that even if a person falls into the lowest depths of Gehenna, he can find a way out. Why? Because Rav Nachman already went down to that place and put a flashlight down there. It's like a modern day idea that you think you fell into the place? Okay, so find the flashlight, find the Rebbe's flashlight, which is his Torah, that is a light that can help us navigate our way out of that place. So that's what I'm using this mashal of a sickness, because since we all take it very seriously, when we're sick, physically sick, we take it very seriously to get better. We're going to go to the best person. So kol shekain, all the more so when we're spiritually sick and we have a brain tumor in our head, then we should be looking for a tzaddik who's on the highest level. We want the expert brain surgeon. We go to the Rebbe's tzin over here, we put our head down. If you manage for a couple minutes, put your head down on the kever for a couple minutes, it's brain surgery. What do we do? I tell you, the best thing to do is nothing. Just lay your head down and let the Rebbe do his thing. Afterwards, we can, if you have a lot of time there, now it's very crowded, a few days ago it was pretty empty, but now it's very crowded. If you can manage, but you guys were here 3 weeks ago. So if you can manage to spend, more time on the canvas, so then, it's we can start talking and davening. But the first thing we do over there is just silent, just let ourselves, mavatar ourselves to the tzaddik. I don't know anything. Another Torah we're going to see, hopefully maybe tomorrow we'll do it, is that the main way we cash ourselves to tzaddik is by throwing away what we think we know about this world, about Hashem. We think Hashem hates us. We think that there's nothing we can do. We're garnished. We're not worth anything. Our mitzvah is not worth it. We have all these kinds of babulim, all these kinds of mistaken ideas. The first time we go to the tzaddik, we have to just throw it all in the garbage and say, okay, I'm going brain surgery. What do you do brain surgery? First thing you do is you get an IV. And it knocks you out. So we go to the tzaddik, the first thing we do is okay, let's put in the IV. I don't know anything, I have no brain. Okay, Rabbi, give me a new brain. Give me a new mind. I want to see the world the way you see it, as much as possible. I want to see the way things really are. So
Rav Nosson says that he says he let go of everything, and every line the Rebbe said he had a new dot of
exactly. So, and that's what Nosson brings down from this Torah that I'm mentioning over here. We'll see his Torah Kuf Chaf Gimel 123. So that's what he did. Nosson, that was his mile. Nosson was a very, very big tzaddik, but really the greatest thing that he did was he was able to throw away everything that he knew and mekabel the dots of the tzaddik. So we say, we stop it here. So a person shouldn't say, it's enough for me just to come close to somebody who's chashav, he's a rabbi, he has a position, which again, these positions are very important, and we need rabbis. The blessing is not about throwing out rabbis at all. We need rabbis, yeah? But we also need the tzaddik. We need rabbis and we need the tzaddik for different things. So we shouldn't say that it's enough just to go to rabbi.
Besides all the stuff he talks about his greatness, he said that a person should always look for the tzaddik hachai b'dor hazeh or something like that. Like always look for the alive one also.
Okay. Yes. No. 100%. That's an important nakuda over here. Question is if we can hold on to that thought for 1 second. Is that okay? I just want to finish this idea. So we shouldn't say that it's enough just for us to go to somebody who's above our level, you know. Even though he's not like a tzaddik ador, he's not like the highest. This is the mistake we make. We're not going to understand. This is the psychology over here. 100 years before Freud ever existed, this is the first book of real spiritual psychology. And Rav Nachman says, why? Because we think, halavai, if only I could be like him, it makes sense. Meaning he's this much higher than me, yeah? So why don't I try to go to him and he'll be able to teach me how to get to his level, and then afterwards maybe I'll try to go to Rav Nachman. This is a lot of people think like this. Most of the people who don't come to Uman, this is why. Most people don't connect to the tzaddik. It's like, okay, I know Rav Nachman is a great tzaddik, but I'm so far away. Halavai should just get to the next level that this rabbi is on, and then after that maybe I'll go further and then I'll connect to a higher tzaddik.
People say it also about learning. I'm not learning Zohar because then it's from Pshat.
Ah, very good. Right.
I'm just saying.
Exactly. It's the same idea because it's a safer of the tzaddik. When you're saying Rabbi Shimon's Torah is too high for me, that's basically what you're saying. What? Right, exactly. It's false humility. It's when you're translating, false humility to say that. You understand? Because exactly, it still has a couple of effect on the neshama.
It's the whole Torah test.
Torah test, yeah.
You say that you should always listen to your Rebbe, your alive Rebbe, besides for.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that in a minute. Okay. So I actually, Gedalia, wait, 1 second. Gedalia is making a good point. Gedalia is saying that. So how does it work together? Meaning we're supposed to have a rabbi, and we're also supposed to have the tzaddik. So what if there's inconsistency between them? Right? So
the Rebbe said, even if I tell you not to come, you still come.
Right. So
Even if there's too many, I say don't come.
So first of all, it's very important to understand. Our rabbi, meaning the person who we're going to, for direct personal guidance, doesn't necessarily have to be Breslov. Does not have to be Breslov. But if he goes against Breslov, so then you have a problem, because now he's disconnecting you from even if you don't believe that Rebbe is like the greatest tzaddik, he's disconnecting you from one of the greatest tzaddikim whose sefer is helping millions of people. That's not a good thing. So again, he doesn't have to be Breslov. Doesn't have to be. Not everybody in the world has to be part of a Breslov shul, with a Breslov rabbi. All these things. But it's very important that whoever we are going to for our minor colds and flus and things like that, like we were explaining earlier, is not taking us away from the brain surgery we also need. Okay. So you shouldn't. But the person shouldn't say that it's enough just for the family doctor. According to what a person knows about our soul and what we're really going through, and like you said, a person really looks at himself, the emes, 99% of people in this generation will see that they're really, really struggling to serve Hashem. The incredible, his lowest place and his distance from Hashem, and his is very far away from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Each person, how they know in their soul. He thinks he's even further than everybody else. He has to find a doctor who's even on a higher level. We're always searching and trying to find the tzaddik who's on the highest level. The lower we are, the more we need a greater tzaddik. So that's it for today.